Hello, welcome to the Charles River Conservancy Parkland Show. My name is Renata von Tscharner. I'm the founder and president of the Charles River Conservancy, and we are going to speak not about the river, not about the parklands, but a bridge and bridges across the river that lead us from Cambridge to Boston and back. And for that conversation, I have with me today Miguel Rosales. Welcome.
Thank you, Renata.
Miguel Rosales has designed many bridges that you are familiar with. He has worked on the Zakim Bridge, also illuminated the Zakim Bridge. He has been the lead architect on the renovation of the Longfellow Bridge. And he has just won the contract to create a new pedestrian bridge in Cambridge, in Alewife, that connects the residential Fresh Pond area with the T-stop and with the various bike paths that are now disjointed because of the railroad. So that will be a very important link. Congratulations on that one.
Thank you.
And then he also has been selected by the city of Boston to rebuild the Charlestown Bridge, the North Washington Street. So that's going to be a dramatic new bridge, and we're looking forward to seeing the designs of that. But today we are going to look at the Harvard Bridge, which some people call the MIT Bridge, but it's really where Mass Avenue crosses the river. And it is the bridge where the river is the widest, and it's perpendicular to the river. And it's this particular bridge. And before we talk about this bridge, I just want to kind of put things in context about the Conservancy's programs and projects. We work with 2,000 volunteers. We do the Sunday Parkland Games. We bring swimming back to the river. We do advocacy for the underpasses. And we are building a skate park. And the artist created that watercolor which shows the same river, and the round vignettes, I call them like the chocolate box, are our programs, like the parkland maintenance and the games and the swimming. And the square boxes are our capital project, physical things like the skate park in the top right, a permanent swimming location, then the Harvard Bridge, the 3 underpasses, and the Olston Esplanade is this long green thing. And here we're talking about the illumination of the Harvard Bridge. So bridge lighting for the Conservancy goes back to 2001, when we first illuminated the Weeks Bridge and the 3 other bridges just on a temporary basis, and then we added music every year, then permanent lighting, and out of that grew River Sing. And here you see the Western Avenue Bridge on the top and the River Street Bridge at the bottom. These are permanent illuminations that the Conservancy paid for and arranged, but because these bridges are going to be restored now, right now the lights are unfortunately no longer maintained, but they will be put back by Mass DOT, so that these bridges will once again be illuminated. And you also serve on the Light Boston board.
Yes.
And I think we got a commitment from Mass DOT that they will be illuminated again, and we will need your help to make sure that happens. So how did this bridge lighting come about? The Conservancy was approached by a donor who says, I would like to illuminate the Harvard Bridge. And so we organized a competition, and your firm was one of the applicants. We had, I think we asked 8 firms and we got 4 proposals, and your proposal won. And now we're working with Mass DOT to implement that proposal. And what you're presenting today is in a way similar to what you presented at the public meeting a few weeks ago. And so let's get going on that presentation about the Harvard Bridge.
Well, as you know, the Harvard Bridge is very long. It's the longest bridge in the Charles, and it's actually an old bridge. It's from 1891, but it has been renovated and changed over the years.
Mm-hmm.
And we think the lighting will be the first time that it will be kind of enhanced architecturally.
So that's the oldest bridge crossing the river.
One of the oldest, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the oldest. And it's a big connection for pedestrians. It's a multi-use bridge, but it's not very flamboyant. You know, it's a very simple, elegant structure, and I think the lighting is really going to enhance that appearance of it.
Mm-hmm. All right, so that's your team.
Yeah, and we're working with Arup engineers here in Cambridge, and you know they will be providing some of the electrical and lighting designs for us. And we also have a cost estimator, BJ Associates, and a permitting company, Epsilon, because we need to get permission from the historic agencies to be able to implement the design. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of experience working in lighting in different projects. Of course, one of them is the second bridge, which we changed about 2 years ago. New LED lights were installed, and the towers now can change colors, and was a big investment of the Massachusetts DOT to improve the structure.
I think you wrote an op-ed piece about that. That was wonderful when they turned the lights off and that
Yes.
changed it. Is Mass DOT now paying for the lights?
Yes, they are. They are paying for the
But you
lights.
kind of gave them a little push there. And so that
Yes, at one point they were taken down, and the bridge was dark, and I felt it was important to keep that alive.
Yeah, it's very important because this bridge has really become a symbol for Boston,
Yes,
for Cambridge, and it's very important that
it's the main entrance to the city from the interstate, so the lighting creates this gateway effect coming into the city.
So in a way, the new Charlestown Bridge, will that also become a kind of entryway?
Well, the Charleston Bridge is more a connection between the North End and Charlestown. Mm-hmm. And it's more of a multimodal bridge, more for pedestrians and bicyclists. And the second bridge is more of a grand scale, it's more for vehicles, it's the interstate bridge. Mm-hmm. So the Charleston Bridge will be more intimate, and it will be the first time that we will put plants on the bridge, which that's going to be quite unusual from Boston. And we expect it to be kind of a counterpart to the Seki Bridge.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, we're looking forward to seeing the design on that one.
And I'm just going to show some examples of other projects we have worked on. This one is in Greenville, South Carolina, and I just came from the 10-year anniversary, and it really had changed completely the downtown, and there is a lot of investment, and I think the lighting of the bridge really make a big difference. And this one is in Washington, D.C. This is the Bellway Bridge, and this was a competition also that we won, and this bridge opens, but it's not possible to see it from here because it was very well integrated, and we have these V-shaped piers that are illuminated at night. Mm-hmm. This one is the most recent we have finished. This one is in Revere at Wonderland Station, and that was part of a grant that the MBTA and the city of Revere won, and they wanted to have a new structure that would be visible from a distance, and so we have a cable stay structure, and they call it the mini Sekim Bridge.
Yes, it is. Yeah, a mini Mio.
Yeah, and now we come to the Longfellow Bridge, which of course is under construction. It's expected to be finished, towards the end of 2016. And in this one, we have combined aesthetic lighting with the traditional lighting that existed there, when it was originally built.
So what will be new here is that what I call the underbelly or the arches will be illuminated as well?
Yes, and the towers itself, they will have a lighting inside, so they will glow at night.
Like the windows in the towers?
Yeah, like a lighthouse.
Yeah, yeah.
And that will be new.
And will the stone pillars, will they be illuminated with...
Well, the towers themselves have traditional light sconces that go around it, which we put back. Those were removed some years back, and the DOT is committed to put them back.
But just the towers, the other stone pillars, they will not be illuminated?
No, there will be some small pedestrian lights at each of the pillars. So if somebody wants to stop by and look out, which is a very beautiful view, you'll be able to do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, next to the Longfellow Bridge, we are working on this new pedestrian bridge. This is going to be the only ADA accessible bridge toward the esplanade. It's a very big arch, 240 feet arch. And this one will match in color with the historic bridge. But it's a modern structure. It's contemporary and it's very transparent and light.
So just to give the context, we're seeing there the Liberty Hotel and Mass Eye and Ear. Is that what we see in the background
in the
there?
back, yeah.
So it goes Charles Circle roughly to Community Boning.
Yes,
Yeah.
it will end actually at the renovated Elliott Memorial.
Yeah, and it will be quite a bit wider than the current pedestrian bridge.
It will be the double. It will be 14 feet wide. Right now, the existing one is only 7 feet, and there is a lot of conflict with pedestrians and bikers, and that will be avoided in the future.
Great. All right, we're coming to the Harvard Bridge.
Yes, and of course, it's a low structure. It's quite dark at night. But one thing that the bridge is famous for is for the smooths. And there was a big story in the Boston Globe about it. And when I was a student at MIT, I always saw the markings on the sidewalk, and it was always very intriguing for me. And we learn about the story, and basically it's a new dimensional system that was created by the students, which is marked every year. So we have rearranged the lighting of the roadway in a way that will be marking those markings.
So how do you compare with Smoot? I think Mr. Smoot was 1 meter 70. Is that about
5 feet 7 inches?
5 feet 7 inches. All
Yes.
right, so that's pretty much my height. So I think this is a wonderful way to measure a bridge. It has become an internationally acknowledged measurement.
Yep. It's in Google, and actually the city of Cambridge uses it. If there is an accident on the bridge, they will say it's at Mood 30, for example.
They already refer to it. All right, and here, I think he came back for his reunion, and was down at the 300 smooth level.
Yes, and the lights, when they start every afternoon, they will go in order. So
they
will
start
go
in Boston?
10, 20, 30, and then we'll end, at MIT.
So you can see of how fast you want to do it, whether it's walking speed or running speed or biking speed.
Yeah, but I think it will be an event for people to come and see it, and it will give it a different personality to the bridge.
So there's in a way a ritual and a tradition built into that you want to catch the smooths marching across the bridge.
Yes.
That's wonderful. All right.
And right now you see the environment is not very well illuminated for pedestrians. The lights are very old. We're going to replace them with new LED lighting. It's going to be a better organized system. And we'll have a pedestrian light that illuminates the sidewalk, which doesn't exist right now, so that will be an addition. Mm-hmm. And then we'll have the smooth lights.
And currently, the lights are kind of in a scattered... Staggered. They're not in a clear order.
No. And when you have a historic bridge, it always looks better if they are in pairs. Mm-hmm. So we're going to combine them with the smooth system and then put them in pairs, which will look more elegant. And that's what we did at the Longfellow Bridge.
Yeah. Too. And also, I often bike on the sidewalk because I come up from the esplanade and I can't get onto the road, so I have to be on the sidewalk. And when I bike there at night, it's so dark that it's hard to even see the pedestrians. So
that will be changed.
That will be changed. You will have special lights for pedestrians.
Yes.
Yeah.
And from underneath at night it's completely dark. You don't see the granite piers, and the granite piers actually is the only historic part of the bridge that is still in existence, and we are going to illuminate those, which actually they're very beautiful, and they just be enhanced at night.
I know you worked hard on getting matching stones for the Longfellow Bridge. Are these the same stones? They look more yellow than the Longfellow Bridge.
It's different. I think it's a different granite. Yeah.
It's a granite also.
Yeah, in the Longfellow Bridge, they had to rescue some stones from an old bridge to match the one that we have here because there was no more available stone.
No more available.
No.
Yeah.
So that was a difficult thing to do.
Yeah. All right. So we'll now I'm going to look of what you're going to do with it.
Well, this drawing is a little bit hard to see, but you can see we have the measurement of the smooths, and it's from beginning to end in plan.
And so from one light post to the next is 30 smooths.
Yes.
That becomes the kind of the standard.
Yeah, and at each 10 smooths, which are the markings that exist right now, we'll have a smaller light on the sidewalk that will mark that. So the whole bridge becomes actually like a big ruler
Yeah.
with all the markings.
A smooth ruler.
Yeah, a smooth ruler. Yes.
Yeah. And
Very appropriate for MIT, actually.
yeah. And also you got a very nice note from Mr. Smoot. He is very happy
Yep.
that this is now being translated into design.
Yeah.
So I think
He's very excited.
he's very excited. So he said
Yeah.
he's coming for the opening.
Yep. We hope. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be lovely. Yes.
And here you can see some of the systems that we're using. There are these lights that are illuminating the granite piers. Then we have the lower level pedestrian lights. Then we have the lights that are also on the sidewalk. And then we're going to have this little blue light that is going to illuminate the beams that support the bridge from underneath, which you can see here, some of them. So basically we have 5 different systems of light. Some are for the roadway pedestrian use, and some are basically for aesthetics and enhancement of the structure.
And I know that some people are worried about light getting all over the sky. And your lights are Mr.
Always going down.
Very down and also very focused. You can completely control where the light.
Yeah, you know, the technology
goes.
has improved a lot, and it's really a cut-off luminaire, so it doesn't spill into the neighborhoods anymore. And he's in plan. And you can see some of the views now, you know, the bridge illuminated. I think from a distance it's going to be very beautiful to look at, you know, the first time that you would notice the bridge at night. So I think it's going to be exciting for people.
This is the way you expect the bridge to look, and the one now it's hardly visible. And when we first did the bridge illumination on December 2001, when I wanted to bring some lights to the river, I realized that at night the river is all black, and to have the bridges there makes the river alive because the light is reflected, and you can really then also connect the parklands.
Yeah, and people will feel more safe. I think, you know, you'll feel more safe walking on the esplanade, crossing the bridge. It just keeps like an urbanity for the area.
Yeah, and so we have now the Anderson Bridge is part of the Accelerated Bridge program, and Weeks Bridge and Western and River Street, they will all be done. The BU Bridge
doesn't have any lighting.
Oh, we so need to work on the BU Bridge.
Yes.
That and getting the train across there, so there's still some work to be done. And then comes
and of course the Charleston Bridge, the North Washington Street Bridge will have lighting.
Will have lighting too.
Yes.
There's one other bridge that has no lighting planned yet, and that's the Craigie Bridge, the Green Line Viaduct.
Yes.
So that's the other one, and I think it's a beautiful concrete structure.
There's a 1910 viaduct. Yeah.
It's a what?
1910.
It was built when the dam was built.
Yeah.
So, but it's actually quite beautiful, and it could be illuminated. And now with the whole North Bank development, it needs to be illuminated.
And this is from the side. You can see, you know, the new roadway lighting and pedestrian lighting, the illumination of the granite piers, the little lights that go on the beams, these blue lights, and the whole, you know, bridge will come alive.
Yeah. And here you show interesting stone patterns. Does the stone it's fairly in good condition, and it's clean. You don't need to do anything to the stone to get that effect.
No, you know, the bridge was changed and renovated in 1980s.
Yeah.
So it's not too long ago.
Yeah, yeah. And I see some red lights there. That's navigation?
That's the navigation channel. Yeah, the Coast Guard.
Yeah, but boats can go other places too. It's just that is where it's recommended.
Yes, it's just for given order of where the boat should go in the river. But it's not a special span. Because in the past that was a swing
That opened up, yeah.
that opened up.
Because they had big boats
Yeah,
that had masts, and they needed to go up to the arsenal
yeah.
and out again.
And
yeah.
then they closed it, and over the years it changed, and now it's completely fixed. But those spans are a little bit different from the rest, because that's
I
where the
see.
swing was.
So the lamps and the foundations are not necessarily, they don't go together. The smooth is the lights for the lights, and the foundations have a slightly different pattern.
Well, the smooth lighting is really for the pedestrians at the sidewalk level, which is where you see the markings.
Yeah,
The other type of lighting is trying to enhance just the structure itself,
yeah.
from underneath. And of course, the piers were done, 100 years ago, so there was no smooth. So they were
There were
not,
no smooths
they
there.
were not marking
Yeah,
that way.
yeah, yeah.
And you can see here the smooth lights, which are marking, every 10 feet. And then we'll have the roadway lights every 30 feet.
Explain of how the smooth lights will work. Are they embedded? Are they flush with the sidewalk?
Well, they will be behind the railing.
So they shine light onto
Yes,
the
and they
sidewalk.
make a marking, like a line.
A light line.
Yeah.
All right. And you show it here in blue, or is that the existing marked blue, or
No,
what
we
color
were
will it
thinking
be?
that the lights could be blue.
The smooths will be blue.
Yeah, and then we're also planning to do a reflected material in white to mark them better. And then the numbers, the students can put the numbers.
They will continue to paint the numbers.
Paint the numbers, yeah.
So
Which are a little bit faded now. I don't know, the last time I saw them, but they were faded. But I think now that we have so much attention, maybe
They
they'll come back.
Pay attention to
Yeah,
them.
because I actually got an interview from the student newspaper from MIT, and I think they're very interested on it now.
Yeah, well, it's a nice way to rejuvenate a tradition, because I think these small traditions are very interesting. There are already some other plaques on the bridge. There is the Houdini plaque.
Yeah, which I have seen. Yeah.
You've seen the Houdini plaque, because Houdini was all chained up and thrown into the river right next to the Harvard Bridge. And so we reenacted that with John de Villars, who was the Secretary of the Environment. We didn't really chain him, and we didn't really throw him in, but it was a way to talk about swimming and how the river is much cleaner. So there are wonderful stories linked with that bridge, and it's great that you incorporated that into the design to encourage these kind of urban rituals. So you have another picture here of
And
the
that's when
underpass.
the storage drive goes under the bridge, next to the back bay, and that will also be illuminated. And actually, that will be a nice addition because it's very dark right now.
Yeah,
But there will be lighting.
yeah.
And this is another view from the side, but you can see the little blue lights that are connected to the beams. And only the first eye girder will be light on both sides. And that you can see the white lighting there.
Yeah, yeah. So if you just joined the show and missed it, you can actually see it on YouTube. These shows are downloaded to YouTube, and you can go to the Charles River Conservancy and go to YouTube and find the show that way. And I think the next image shows us how people can contact you.
Well, there's another
here's
image
another
here.
picture. You have to talk about that a
this
few
is
more
from,
minutes.
That's from far away. And I think in this one you can see how the bridge will reflect in the water.
Oh, yes.
Which I think is going to be very beautiful.
Yes, yes, I think it was Gauguin, the painter, who said water is wonderful because it doubles everything. I mean, it doubles the light, it also doubles the real estate value, but it's for a bridge, you get twice the bridge there.
Yeah.
Yes. You have your website there. So if people want to find out
There's more pictures there in the website. Yeah.
Also, one thing we did not talk about it is the pedestrian bridge you proposed for the Museum of Science.
Yes.
So we hope to have, can you just say in a few words what you're proposing there?
Well, there are two bridges, and those bridges will be next to the Museum of Science on the water side,
On the upriver side, yeah.
And you'll be able to stay on the river side and run from Cambridge to Boston, which you cannot do right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it will create a very beautiful loop, and it's a very nice view. It's just not used right now because we had a lot of obstacles with the garage and other conditions. But hopefully, these two bridges will resolve that problem.
And do you have pictures of that on your website?
Yes.
Of that?
Yes.
Very good. And we did a show a few months ago that included those bridges.
Yep.
So if you're interested in that, we are looking for funding for those bridges. It's wonderful to have the generous donor for the Harvard Bridge, who is putting up 2.5 million. And there's a wonderful chance to make a big civic difference on the Charles River by sponsoring a bridge. So we hope, that might be something that interests you or somebody
Which
you know.
other communities have done. In Fort Worth, Texas, we had the donation. In Greenville, South Carolina, we had a donation.
Yeah.
And I don't know if in Boston has happened, but that would probably be the first
Well,
time.
we have the skate park is privately funded. That will be a project that will be over $5 million by the time it's finished. And that's mostly privately funded. So yes, there are precedents, and working with Mass DOT has been a great pleasure. So that is where we are, and this is the website of the Charles River Conservancy. If you want to find out more about the work we do along the river, if you want to volunteer, or you're interested in swimming, or you are a bicyclist and want to join our advocacy effort for underpasses, there are many, many opportunities. So, Miguel, I want to thank you for coming in for the show today, and thank you for the beautiful bridges you design, illuminations, and keep doing it.
Thank you very much.